7th, maybe an ice world. The frozen theme. 3, the old 3 is another number of British, these people, as you know, the Trinity number, the Trident, and they're comfortably in the habitable zone. Oh, and there's a nice picture they took. Yeah. And look, there's a couple other planets and the star there. New record. 3, 7 by 3, 21. Blackjack. A treasure trove. Now, you see, this is just such big evidence for a flat Earth. I'm sorry to say, that people say that saying the Earth's flat is shillery. Bullshit. This is shillery. So come on, Mr. Pang, admit this is all bullshit, and it certainly is evidence that whatever you believe, sir, it's not what NASA says. So you should be questioning more, but no, the shill channels won't question.
Around the very nearby cold small star, we found 7 rocky Earth-sized
Sean
planets,
for Zion.
all of which could potentially have liquid water.
See that? Look.
The big news is that around the very nearby
Carey for
cold
the heart.
small star,
See? Heart of Zion. Carey is the word for the heart. Carey Street in London, right in the Knight Templar zone there. Central London. Sean for Zion. Spitfire Science Centre. SS. SSC. Which in itself, that's 11-3. Masonry. 14.
7
Double 7.
rocky Earth-sized planets, all of which could potentially have liquid water.
Oh yeah. The habitable zone.
For me, it's mind-blowing.
Oh, it is.
The first time I saw...
Mind-blowing is correct. Mind games like in Melbourne. You've got to be kidding me. Yes, that's the one. And look, they're nearly giving a bit of a shape of America here with that blue.
System had it, and I just was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, you gotta be.
And I looked at the data myself, I'm like, yeah, there they are.
Go the red hair. Go the data. Go the data. And Lewis, like Ola Lewis, Isn't that nice? Ola Lewis being the Trump home. No one's made any fuss about that. Leo, go and watch my last video about the duck. And how that's linking to the Leo there.
They all are. It's just, I would have never predicted this. It's beyond, anything I could have ever dreamt of.
Yeah, it's beyond anything you could dream of. Trappists. Trappist monks. Probably worse than the Jesuits.
I felt super excited.
Oh,
amazed
super
by the
excited.
The very existence of this system was kind of shock.
Shock! Now you see, folks, we've just got absolute garbage on garbage here. James Webb, of the Wicked Web. Trappist One System. Oh, they've got all the potential atmospheres, and look at them all going around here perfectly on a flat plane idea. Yes, that might be a clue. Alright folks, I'll look at this further and I'll get back in a few days with something more on this. Why they started B? Isn't that interesting? Now, very interesting. Crowded with hope. Oh, Lee's another place of great hoaxery. Zerbican. Not like his name, are we? Oh, who's this here? This is another idiot. Look. So you can see.
Decided to announce today that Dr. Michael Dion and his team have used our Spitfire Space Telescope to determine that there are actually 7 Earth-sized planets orbiting the nearby TRAPPIST-1 star about 40 light years away.
And they love 40. 40 days and nights. 40 days in the desert. And other things that are 40 years. You know their stuff. Here it is, all repeated. Total spellcraft.
Earth-sized planets. These planets are among the best in the form of planets we know to follow up. You can see, for example, that the James Webb Space Telescope that we're going to launch last year, they're
please sub and share. And if you can, watch a hell of a lot of my videos from the past few months, because I tell you what, not many people are doing work on this sort of stuff, and it's important to break the spell. Disney World, the world of the Donald Duck. Now, I've just done a bit of tea investigation, investigating the tea, spilling the tea, you might say, about what we saw here at the wedding. Quite an expose, as it were. And strange thing is that most news reports, of course, totally wipe this out. Isn't it funny they would do that, seeing, of course, this is totally arranged. Now, who is this? This is Lady Louise Windsor. I wasn't sure at first, and I'd say most people think, gee, it looks like Beatrice. It's all in the family now. Let's play this little bit now. I couldn't find any other videos pretty much with this on, other than the one which I got from, and I was having great difficulty re-finding it. It's a really long file, that one, which is the live file of the event. But every other news service cut it about this point. But here's somebody here with a little video. Yes, very interesting indeed. Video here by this guy who's put this music with it. It's called a Prince Eugene wedding. It's only had 12 views. Who's his treasure? Anyway, so I did a little bit of research into who this exactly was. The thing we know a bit about it now. We've been exposed to this person here. Yes, Sophie of Wessex helps the brownies, the brown eye here. Old brown eye at Buckingham Palace tea party. And here is Sophie and Lady Louise Windsor. Laddie Louis indeed. Mounting up tea boxes, I think. But certainly a tea party at Buckingham Palace. Quite a likely laddie indeed here, as we can see. Sash. It's definitely got the look here. And now we know more about it. So very blessed with some very long arms here and very big hands compared to Dad, taking after Mum, of course. Pretty in pink. 3 big buttons. Certainly likes blue. Chose blue again. Here it is in burgundy. Mum is in blue satin hat. And here we have Beatrice coming up the rear here on Lady Louise. Like what often happens around the palace there. Certainly now, because of the kids here, and certainly the fingers tell us, and certainly does at this angle look like Beatrice. So it was a bit of a Beatrice meme, I thought. I certainly first thought that looks like Beatrice. And they did say Beatrice was going to corral the kids, but it turned out being Lady Louise. Now here's the princess herself, very likely lady, and has the big emerald on the head here, and of course there was a thing called Brave about the Ferguses, and they had the same thing here, Merida tiara. And here is Merida sporting her tiara. And of course, emeralds, the old Emerald Isle. And one does think of the old Wizard of Oz and its Emerald City. Seems to be quite a few versions of this tiara getting around, and keeps putting them on. This one looks a bit different here. Certainly the blue and the red theme is part of it. See the dress here. And this was, of course, Sarah and Beatrice came in these very colours. This one's the three bears. There's the three hogs of Ferguson. But Sarah Ferguson, for her wedding, had a giant teddy bear inside the thing. And look at that, we've got the driver's support hat. But she had a huge teddy bear in the wedding carriage. Now, the history of this tiara is very interesting. So the Grevels. Now, Grevels have given their name to the Grevillea plants, which is a very important range of plants in Australia, actually. But here we have 14th October, pretty close to our wedding date, strange enough. And as we can see, here is Argyle and Sutherland. Well, that brave thing is set in Dalradia, which of course is in that area. And we know the red line with William, with Argyle and Sutherland. There are very many things that connect to the old Argyle and Sutherland Highlanders. So what's very strange, of course, indeed, is that they would organise this, because there must have been some sort of blow-up. It's like you're getting very excited here. Some sort of blow-up thing here to get this happening, and yet they're sort of hiding at this stage. But maybe they're going to organise this over the next few days. It's going to be interesting to watch what they do with all this, because it's obviously leaked out somewhere. It's on the live stream, but interesting enough, they haven't made anything about it. I guess it's a bit too over the top. I'm not sure. An interesting study to see what it's done with this, where it goes. Yes, with the royalties. Royalties. That's Sophie at a young age, I'm not sure. It's popped up in the Sophie search. Here was the big tea party for the 50 brownies. I'm sure there's 50 there. Very empty other than the people, isn't it? What a lonely look. Well, I got up this morning and I had a message from a friend and he wanted me to explain this to him. And this guy is more open-minded than most. He hasn't quite got to the level of the people who follow me a lot. But he's on the way, and surely this will really bring him into that idea of how fake it all is and all these truther channels. You know what they're saying? That Matt Groening is a time traveller. He must go to the Cannibal Club. Oh man, it's terrible, isn't it? And of course, this channel here, which is one of the only channels that pulls this sort of thing apart, well, no support here from the powers that be, of course. They just don't let my videos out. I mean, I have nearly 20,000 subscribers and most, I guess, 1,000 views. I was looking at something the other day about Cannibal Club from an alien UFO type dude, so-called truther, 50,000 subs, and 20,000 views in a couple of days. Well, you can see nearly half his people watch. Yeah. Whereas me, look at that, 20 and maybe 1,500 views would be the top video inside a few weeks. This guy had that many views, so 20,000 in a few days. He'll probably get more than his sub level. And I see this too. People that get more views than what their subs are. And of course that can happen. I have had a few videos like that. But mostly they take a long time to do that. And if I have had one that's had record views in a few days, you open up a day or two later and it's getting zilch, or 5, 6, 10 views in a week, you know, or more. Like, just so little. You know, 20 views for a month after getting like 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 in a week. and then the next month it gets 20 views. Does that sound right? And it's top-notch information. So if anyone wants to support the good work that is done by this channel, which is the most unique work on here, the other great channel was Dave J, of course, was removed, and Histros Mandler does great work on the people who are running the show here. I'll give a shout out to Franco. He's got a Wake and Truth channel. He should be really learning a lot now, and hopefully putting some really good videos after the style of what we've shown him. Ye-Man has come a long way. There was a guy, Hoaxbuster, haven't heard of for ages. And there's a few other channels. If you think you're one of those channels, just pop a comment up and I'll remember to shout out next time. I've been doing a lot of research and my brain is absolutely full. I'm trying to put the best information out there and to show that half these truther channels are just jokes. Now, there's been some of these Simpson things which have been proven to be fake. They were never on the show, and I'm not sure about this one without looking into it further. But it matters not. There's plenty that has been on the show, and people think there's time travel. There's no time travel involved here. It's a scripted reality. And people say, well, how did they know Trump would even be alive? Well, they could make him alive. If the person who had been playing had died, they soon have a replacement. I mean, it's not too hard to make somebody look like this. There's been a lot of suggestions of people who could be doing this role, and certainly different images of Trump look a bit different, just the size, shape of the face. But one thing's certain, in all Trumps we ever see, we have little hands. So there it is. There, it looks like something that should be legit. I don't know if you know any better. Have you seen this episode back in the day? I noticed that Trump on this thing, he's pointing to San Diego. I saw something about San Jose, which isn't, I guess, far, and that could be some point of interest. Certainly, they were telling us something here with their globe, and so that should show people who are real mad on the idea of the globe, that these people like the globe. Well, do you like these people? So you should at least question. Don't put those down who are actually challenging the system. Of course, there's a lot of fake channels that try and say that they're doing flat earth, and in some ways they're discrediting it, or they're like this channel that I found here, Pat McPhee, Pat your fee. And Pat is, I'll tell you, Pat's his fee. He certainly likes a cup of tea, old Pat. And we know that anybody with 297,000 views will be like this. It's just the standard here. Total standard. I do have a PayPal. You can find that on my blog. And I do have a Patreon. I hate asking for money. I wish YouTube, paid properly, gave me reasonable view rates, and we could run this channel. But the pay that we get now from is reduced, and views are really held up, and often takes ages for them to let it be monetized. They say you have to request a review because your video has been found to have content that isn't friendly to us and the general public. He's doing some equations here. Look into some of the numbers here, that's for certain. But yeah, Pat McPhee, isn't it just in the name? Oh, McAfee. Fee. Yeah, any other word, fee Pat. And of course they run with this, just like the guy with Cannibal Club. Oh, there's time travels. And of course that ends up selling the demons and every other thing that sort of these people push. And if you do, you're bound to have incredible response. Google, again, I love anyone that does Area 51 and says it's real. Anyone who does haunted houses and say they're real. But the first two videos I ever did, one was called The Blue Ghost, and that was just having a go at all the ghost videos. And a while back, James Henry Smith, of all people, James, I couldn't believe that, he sent me some stuff of demon possession from the Kelly file, from Megan Kelly. Well, that should show you. Nobody's demon possessed, exorcism all over, an old hoodwink from the Catholic Church, been carried over into all sorts of cults in America, straight out of London. London loves aliens and UFOs, and Pinewood, where they film so many things. Just ask Stanley Kubrick, eh? But yes, proof of time travel. Oh, that's what they're saying. Somebody said there is no fourth dimension being time, and I thoroughly agree with that. There's 3 dimensions, that's it, get over it. Einstein and his idea of bending time. It's to fit with anything they want to say. They can say, oh, it's a bend in time. And I saw something the other day with that Crowley name had been mentioned. People might not know who Crowley is. Well, Crowley is the man there. Look, chapter 25, we know that idea, the mind weapon. And Kinks in Time, so you can see where the Kinks, who have a song called Have a Cup of Tea, and look at Sorrow. Oh. And Kara itself to another thing of interest to them. Kink, A Tale of Extreme Horror by Crowley Barnes. It doesn't matter where you look, they all revolve around together. And of course the Beatles, here, look at the twin figures, the 2 towers, there it all is, Scarab Beetles and Kethra. And of course then we have the wings and the wing beetle. I've shown this a million times. But it is, and again, all Crowley stuff is just to hoodwink you, sell books, and then create all this other stuff. And of course Crowley links directly to NASA through Jack Parsons. And he's the founder of NASA, the creator, the father, they say, of the rocket industry, rocket space or whatever it was that morphed into NASA when they brought over another good actor in it all, of course, Weiner von Braun, who, of course, is another tea drinker. And it is, as soon as you know about the tea drinkers, you know. So go and check that Histros channel out. Covers that really well. And then you'll know a little bit about what's going on. But of course, it's really hard to get this information out. I'm trying my best. And slowly but surely a few people get it. Because we get a lot of nasty people who are set up, no doubt. They know that the information here is second to none, really. And so, of course, we've got to be attacked. And there are a few other channels doing this information, as I said. Good on you there, Histros, and good on you, Ye-Man. And anyone else has said, I just can't think at the moment, mine's blank. There are a few other people who have made videos on these subjects about showing people how nothing is real, like the fake hero, or one of a few fake heroes that are John Lennon. And look, Ray. I noticed with Imran Khan, he's Bush Ra, the Bush of Ra. Ra tends to be masculine, but Ra with a bush, I thought of. And he's Ray Beam. Yes, there's the Kinks having a cup of tea. Have a cup of tea there with the Kinks. And there's also one there, Scarab Beetles. And here, oh, this is Leslie Grant. Sorry, there's another tea drinker from Dad's Army. Another one here is Scarab Beetles. Hang on. Yes, heavily featured in many Beatles things is the cuppa. Carney, of course, sings a song about tea, very twee, very me, twin ideas. There was Beatles' cuppa there, and there's one of the Pauls. I mean, the whole thing is a story, it doesn't matter, there's no real name Paul McCartney as far as I can see. So people say, this Paul, that, but they treat it like it's personal. Or he's time traveller. Who knows, the garbage that they come up with. But certainly you can see cups of tea and Beatles, a very popular idea. Here's Lennon, look, cross. It's all a cross. It looks like a different Lennon. still enjoying a cuppa. It's just, people say it's very English, it is. It's also very twee, very me, and here's enough to tell you. Here it is. Look at the way it's holding it. Now, that should tell you. Forming 7, of course. With the 101 Dalmatian. 101 like the little doll. You know, Sarah's little doll. Look, that's definitely something different, isn't it? Oh, look. And there's Paul and Mick having a bit of a cuppa. Of course. Have a cup of tea with me. They may well laugh. Oh, look at the slinky wall. Oh, do I need to say any more? Look at this. If you just take that head away there. Look. 2 seagulls. Well, definitely one of the bigger news stories in the old spellcraft media of late has been Bitcoin and associated cryptocurrencies. And what a nice name there. And you'd notice I did a few videos that all of the logos of these things are heavily fantastic, like we know. You can go and watch different videos I've done, friends of mine have done, and get a picture of the idea. And you should know the phoenix rising from the ashes. So it just so happens we have Phoenix coin, and it's certainly a very interesting logo for the old Phoenix coin. All these things, and here's the green theme. There's a lot of orange in the beginning of this, but they're moving into a green theme, blue themes. So there's your colours, tones, always used in this stuff. And certainly, I mean, I don't need to tell you, do I? Straight from the ashes. And I don't know whether you've seen this around. People have been putting it around a bit from 1988. Phoenix coin. And when? 218. Now, this also links to the royalty. They have a Princess Beatrice. And Princess Beatrice was born in 1988 on the 8th of the 8th at 18 minutes past 8. So pretty interesting little story. You would imagine, eh? The Economist magazine and of course Beatrice, Bitcoin. A strange sort of little connection too. And if you didn't know Princess Beatrice is, a lot of people don't, but she was at the royal wedding, and you can see here she had a pretty fancy hat. It was a bit like what's showing there, either something a cat could play in, or as we can see, the seat there. And it is actually related to those ideas. There's people who did extensive research at the time into the hat. And this, of course, is like the planet Saturn idea and the dreaded stripes. Very interesting word, Beatrice, too, you know, relating to the bee, of course. Rice, you know, the grain, or trice, at. There's so many different words. There's hardly a word in the English language that you can build so many words out of as this one, that is for sure. And all European languages, in fact. Yes, and talking the green theme, and because we had a lot of green this year, suddenly these coins are turning green on us. And the blue. Green and blue, always the colours, in the satin dresses, of course. And she had a little bag with BEA embroidered on it. It's quite classic. This one's got butterfly. And this is B here somewhere. Oh, look out, here it is, a story about it here. You see, on the 21 day, 21/12. 33-day. 1360 is a number of interest, of course, and especially 1988. Anyone who's followed my videos over the years would know about that one. And make sure you're closest to the exit, and that's back on November 30. Whoa, yeah, double doji appears. Oh, outlawed. Look out, eh? Gee, troubling times. Well, indeed. Going back, look here, the 7th of August. Everyone missed this little story on Goldseek. It's something very interesting, isn't it now? They mentioned it back then. And the Phoenix. So, Phoenix coin out of the ashes. And very strange about that. Lodge 205. Much like a coin, isn't it now? But they'll tell us that, oh look, 16. 16205. There you go, folks. As usual. And they tell us that this is all organic, just a few nerds with glasses, sort of, and pimples. And they became millionaires. What do you think, folks? I think that's who's behind Phoenix coin. And here we are in Arizona. It's the most worshipful Prince Hall free and accepted masonry jurisdiction of Arizona history. Sorry, but no doubt this is something to do with it. Nice palm trees. Looks a bit like Libya. Very classy indeed. There you go. We've got the Winter State Cookout. The Jerusalem Daylight Lodge. And Arizona Lodge number 2. It's a bit like an AC/DC sort of look there, doesn't it now? Highway to Hell. TNT, see a lot of T, Thunderbirds. Go in Arizona. And of course. And just looking at the beat of Beatrice, or Bit, and Beth, or Beta in Greek, and Beth in Hebrew Phoenician. And I came across this one here. Beth, Arizona. Or Beth Phoenix, I should say. And there you go. We know about people like Beth Phoenix now, don't we? Hey, doesn't this look like that this is another candidate for the Ramsey? It's got that look, hasn't it? The Ramsey look.